I used to let other people's pace dictate my business strategy. You know the feeling. You look around at other agencies and agents, you see the just listed posts, the recruitment announcements, the aggressive expansion, and you feel like, man, I'm just not good enough and I'm not growing anywhere near fast enough to keep up with these guys. I've got to do more. And suddenly, steady growth just feels stagnant. On many occasions, I've been caught out making decisions based on that external pressure, that fear that speed is the only currency in real estate. And my ego was getting in the way of making the right decision to make sure that I was building my business properly, not just based on speed and trying to catch up to the next guy. But then I realized something crucial. Fast growth fueled by comparison doesn't equal success. It's just a P&L sheet full of anxiety. Today, I want to talk about why building slowly beats scaling at all costs in real estate. In the startup world and in real estate, speed is romanticized. Move fast and break things, right? Early wins are praised, hustle is a religion, and everyone just tells you to scale, scale, scale. But no one talks to you about the emotional tax of scaling before you're ready. Fast growth is exciting for sure, but fast growth without foundations, that's fragile. You don't see the cracks first, but you do start to feel them. It feels like decision fatigue at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. It feels like you're constantly firefighting and you're the only one holding the hose. It feels like you're just hiring bodies to fill seats rather than fueling a culture. I found myself prioritizing performance over connection. I was trying unsuccessfully to be the lead salesperson and the CEO at the same time, basically doing both jobs pretty badly. I was growing revenue at the expense of growing myself. But here's the hard truth. Speed gives you results, but depth gives you longevity. And most business leaders realize this distinction only when speed nearly breaks them. Before I tell you how I actually slowed down, and believe me, it wasn't easy, I want to tell you about the roadmap that I used to do it. I realized that in order to slow down, I needed to build better systems that allowed the business to flow without relying on my brute force and outcomes to make it work. I documented the exact operational changes, the cultural shifts, and the leadership frameworks I used in a free 30-day email series. It's called 30 Lessons in 30 Days, and you can get it for free. It's not fluff, it's things that I wish I knew 5 years ago. If you want to move from busy operator to strategic leader, have a look at the show notes or click the link in the pinned comment to get instant access right now. So what did the shift actually look like? Somewhere along the way, I adopted a new thesis. Growth without stability isn't growth, it's expansion with a fuse attached to it. So I decided to slow down. And it wasn't because I lacked ambition. If anything else, I think I became more ambitious in that process. But I started to really understand the difference between activity and progress. Slowing down means 3 specific things for me. Number 1 is sequencing over sprinting. I stopped trying to do everything at once. I realized that sometimes business is seasonal. There's a time to push sales, and then there's a time to push and build the back end. You can't do both at 100% intensity forever. Number 2 is people over process. I stopped obsessing about my workflows in my business and started obsessing about my team. I realized that if I build my people will build my business. It means mentoring them, not just managing them. And number 3 is identity over ego. This was the hardest one for me. I had to challenge the belief that if I wasn't the busiest person in the room, then I wasn't valuable. I had to detach my self-worth from my transaction numbers. Slow meant trusting the season that I was in. It meant trusting my team to perform their roles in the business so that I could live a balanced life. Slow wasn't quitting. Slow was about building something that was real and actually sustainable. Here's what happened when we stopped trying to race. We started to rise. Our team became stronger because they had room to step up. Our systems matured because we actually had time and space to fix them. And the business became more resilient and more calm. Ironically, when I slowed down the business, we actually grew. Not louder, but better. There's a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you don't need a sprint to succeed. I want to be really clear here. Slow doesn't mean lacking ambition or being lazy. And slow doesn't mean you're being stagnant. Slow means sequencing, pacing intentionally, knowing when to sprint and when to build. Slow means respecting the season you're in so that you're ready for the season that you want. It's understanding that maturity can be a competitive edge and that pacing is a strategy, not a limitation. Anyone in this business can go fast for a little while, but very few can stay in the game long enough to build something that lasts. Speed is a rush, but stability is a legacy. If you're learning to slow down, not because you're giving up on growth, but because you're actually growing into a different kind of leader, you're not alone. You're in the right season. If you're building something that lasts, subscribe to this channel. We don't play for fast wins here. We play for real ones, and I'll see you on the next one.